From haunted houses to cursed artifacts, from whispers in the dark to battles you'll never read in scripture. This is the Unholy Podcast, hosted by Doug Owen, author, investigator, and survivor of one of the most harrowing real-life hauntings ever documented. Each week, Doug pulls back the veil between this world and the next, sharing stories that aren't fiction, because he lived them. Prepare yourself. The silence is over.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Doug Owen, paranormal investigator and author, and this is the Unholy Podcast. Today, I want to take you somewhere unexpected, deep into the glittering lights and ghostly shadows of Reno, Nevada. Specifically to the Silver Legacies Hotel. Now, to the average visitor, it's a place of luxury and lights. A casino resort filled with noise, color, and laughter. But beneath the polished exterior lies a story most people don't know. A story buried, quite literally, in the ground beneath your feet. In the late 1800s, before the neon and nightlife, this land was part of a silver boom. And it was here that a brilliant mining engineer named Charles Fairchild teamed up with none other than Gustav Eiffel. Yes, the Eiffel Tower's creator. And they designed a revolutionary system for extracting silver ore from deep within the Nevada rock. Now, they changed the way mining was done, but like many innovations of that era, it came at a price. Accidents, explosions, lost lives. And as the years passed, the story began to spread. Stories of the ones who never made it out. Now, in the Silver Legacies Hotel, you can see Charles Fairchild's collection of antique silver trinkets. A lot of his work was centered around dining. An elegant silver tray, serving tray with many different things. His famous teapot, which is silver. The wooden handle had a thumb groove carved out of it. Said to be his favorite silver possession. So, when I went to the Silver Legacies Hotel, I didn't actually stay there. I was there by misfortune. I wasn't thinking about any of that, about lost lives or accidents. I wasn't even there to perform an investigation of any kind. I was there for another reason in Reno. But from the moment I walked in the old wing, something felt different. The halls were adorned with antiques, brilliantly lit and displayed. The walls were a wonderful, dark cherry-stained wood, and the hotel felt old. Not because it was built in an older era or a different time, but because of the antiques it was decorated with. Old safes you could see lined the walls. Just the very wainscoting there was pretty impressive. But when I walked through there, headed towards the restroom, the air felt heavy. It felt charged. You know the sensation when a room feels aware of you. Now, on this particular Thursday night, it was absolutely deserted. Me and my companion were the only ones there. The carpet muffled my steps, the lighting was dim. The walls carried a faint hum, not from electricity, but from something deeper. I brushed it off. I was fatigued, I was tired, my eyes hurt. My whole body hurt. We spent all day in a parking garage. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me after a long day. But that night, as I walked, I saw something. I saw them. At first, just flickers, a shadow moving across the hallway. Gone when I blinked and pulled focus. cold spot, of course, made me feel unnaturally cool, and always that feeling of being watched. I saw what looked like faint wisps of white mist drift past me in the hallway. It lingered for a heartbeat and then vanished. Of course, there was no sound, just that deep, pulsing silence that almost feels alive. Well, that silence stayed with me, and I thought about it more and more as I took pictures of this contraption that Fairchild and Eiffel had built. It's in the center of this massive city of a resort. I awoke thinking, wow, this place has a memory, and somehow I was now a part of it. Now, after leaving the Silver Legacies hotel, things did not go back to normal. It was like bad luck had attached itself to me. The car broke down for no reason, electrical issues, electronic glitches, small things, a key fob, 2 locksmiths that seemed to be incompetent, unable to help, having trouble finding a tow truck to get into the parking garage with such a low clearance. But I felt like something, shadows from those halls, had followed me to my hotel where I was staying, clinging to me, whispering, "You've seen too much." It's an unusual feeling. Not that I actually heard a whisper, it was a feeling. So I started researching mining tragedies, looking for patterns, stories, and answers. And that's when I realized every mine has a ghost. In Idaho, where I currently reside, in 1972 there was the Sunshine Mine disaster. Smoke filled the shafts, cutting off air to over 170 miners trapped underground. 91 of them never made it out. Even today, miners at the rebuilt site report strange, echoing voices through the tunnels. Conversations that stop when you listen too closely. In Utah, in 1900, the Schofield mine explosion took more than 200 lives, and locals still talk about the Schofield lights, which are glowing orbs seen drifting over the hills at night. And these are said to be the spirits of the lost men trying to find their way home. And then there's Ludlow, Colorado in 1914, a violent clash between striking miners and the National Guard. Dozens were killed, including women and children. It's more of a massacre than a tragedy. Residents near the site still hear phantom gunfire in the crying wind. But these aren't just ghost stories, they're echoes of history, memories carved into the earth itself. Tragedy always leaves an imprint, and sometimes we know that that imprint reaches out. So, when I think back to my time at the Silver Legacies Hotel, those whispers, those moving shadows, maybe just fatigue, maybe just imagination, maybe it was me just stressed and upset at the misfortune because I was stranded there. But maybe it was the residue of that old mine, the energy of lives lost beneath the earth, still resonating through the walls above it. A place where the lines between past and present grow thin. It is, after all, almost Halloween. Thin enough for the dead to remember that they once lived. And maybe that's why some of us are drawn to these places, not to be frightened, maybe not even to gamble, but to listen. Because sometimes you know that if you listen, that silence speaks louder than any sound. So, if you find yourself in Reno, look past the lights, past the casino floor, find the quiet corners, the old corridors, and then just listen. You might hear the faint clink of a pickaxe in the dark, or a breath that isn't yours. And if you do, remember, it's not always something to fear. It might just be history trying to be heard. So until next time, I want you as always to beware and be aware. Take care of yourself, and remember, sometimes the silence is the most terrifying thing.
You've just heard another chilling chapter of the Unholy podcast, hosted by Doug Owen, author, investigator, and witness to the things most feared to name. For more real stories, cursed objects, and exclusive content, step deeper into the dark at authorDougOwen.com. Subscribe, share, and remember, some silences aren't empty, they're waiting.